Was Louis Vuitton created by a homeless boy? From the streets to successful startup owner. This is a remarkable story of someone who went from rags to riches. Today, Louis Vuitton has grown into one of the top luxury brands worldwide. But the history behind this multi-billion company started with a homeless boy who came from a very humble background. In this video, we'll tell you all about this incredible journey of how your favorite brand came into existence. Stay tuned to find out. We will tell you the secret recipe for Louis Vuitton's success towards the end of the video. A Cinderella-like story. Louis Vuitton was born on August 4th, 1821 in Angers, France. His father was a farmer, and his mother was a hat maker. Thus, Vuitton spent most of his childhood on the farm, taking care of the crops and livestock. Sadly, Vuitton lost his mother at the mere age of 10. His father quickly remarried a woman who was extremely wicked to Vuitton. After the death of his father, Vuitton found it difficult to continue staying with his stepmother. The struggle on the street forged a talented artist. Vuitton ran away from home in 1835 at the age of 13. He struggled on the streets as he headed for Paris. He had no shelter or money and worked odd jobs with artisans and craftsmen. He traveled for more than 2 years, taking odd jobs to feed himself along the way and staying wherever he could find shelter as he walked the 292-mile trek from his native Angers to Paris. He arrived in 1837 at the age of 16 to a capital city in the thick of an industrial revolution that had produced a litany of contradictions. Awe-inspiring grandeur and abject poverty, rapid growth and devastating epidemics. Rise to prominence. The teenage Vuitton was taken in as an apprentice in the workshop of a successful boxmaker and packer named Monsieur Maréchal. In 19th century Europe, boxmaking and packing was a highly respectable and urbane craft. A boxmaker and packer custom-made all boxes to fit the goods they stored, and personally loaded and unloaded the boxes. It took Vuitton only a few years to stake out a reputation amongst Paris's fashionable class as one of the city's premier practitioners of his new craft. Amazing, right? Don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe. Early designs of Louis Vuitton. Napoleon Bonaparte staged a coup d'etat. Exactly 1 year later, he assumed the title of Emperor of the French under the regal name Napoleon III. The re-establishment of the French Empire under Napoleon III proved incredibly fortunate for the young Vuitton. Napoleon III's wife, the Empress of France, was Eugénie de Montijo, a Spanish countess. Upon marrying the emperor, she hired Vuitton as her personal boxmaker and packer and charged him with packing the most beautiful clothes in an exquisite way. She provided a gateway for Vuitton to a class of elite and royal clientele who would seek his services for the duration of his life. Vuitton knew the importance of a strong work ethic and determination long before he established his brand. Growing up in a family of farmers and milliners in eastern France, Vuitton had seen poverty closely. As mentioned by Rebag, Vuitton had arrived in Paris in the middle of industrialization when transportation had become easier for long journeys. This gave a high demand for long-distance travel. Vuitton began working as an apprentice for Monsieur Maréchal, who taught him to create durable containers. After a few years, Vuitton was in high demand due to his mastery. He opened a shop at Rue Neuve des Capucines, and people now recognized him as a luggage maker. The trunks during that time had rounded tops to let the water run off. However, it didn't secure the items inside. In 1858, Vuitton invented the first steamer trunk made from grey canvas called Trianon, the brand's signature today. The products were most sought after, but soon production came to a halt. A new beginning. In 1870, the Franco-Prussian War caused the family to move out of their home and live in camps to survive. As food was scarcely available, the family almost starved to death. A year later, the war ended, and Vuitton returned home to find his workshop destroyed and his materials stolen, as stated by the Good Life France. However, this incident did not set him back. Instead, the luggage maker was already looking for a new place to open a workshop. After working for the Empress for a year, he became more in demand and opened his first shop where he came up with new ideas for his new products that changed the standard for the industry. At the time, traditional boxes were made with leather and were rectangular in shape, hence making the work easier to load. The property prices had dropped considerably after the war, which allowed Vuitton to open his new shop at an upscale part of Paris, France. His business took off after a few months and he received orders from all over the world. He opened a shop in London and gained orders from the royals as well. Louis decided to involve his son George with the business since his old age made it difficult to work for long hours. In 1886, Vuitton's son George invented a lock system that was impossible to pick: the passing of Vuitton. When the business was at its height in 1892, Louis Vuitton suddenly passed away. His son George took over and immediately got to work. When he attended the World Fair in Chicago, he met John Wanamaker, who established the concept of department stores and price tags. His store, Wanamaker's, started selling the bags Vuitton created. In 1896, Vuitton created the LV monogram and floral pattern in memory of his father. Impressive, right? Did you know about this? Tell us in the comment box. According to Hooks, by the 1930s, Vuitton had created a distribution network all across America. The impact of World War II. As the business soared, the unfortunate happened, and George Vuitton passed away in 1936. His son Gaston took over the business and had a rocky start. World War II had just begun, which caused the third-generation Vuitton to shut down the factories and stores worldwide. In the book Louis Vuitton, The French Saga, the author claimed that Gaston collaborated with the ruling party of Germany to create their luggage, which ensured that his store remained open in Vichy, France. After the war ended in 1946, Gaston handed the reins to his son to carry on the business. When Gaston passed away in 1970, the business went through a rocky patch. When the brothers had differences, their brother-in-law, Henry Racamier, took over, as stated by the Times. In 6 years, LV went retail and sales increased from $20 million to $260 million. By 1987, LV had reached $1 billion in sales by opening stores everywhere in the world. The success details. Racamier merged the company with other brands, including Mott Hennessy, to form the LVMH brand. They also merged with Givenchy, Berluti, and Guerlain. Bernard Arnault was appointed as Racamier's ally. He has been the CEO since 1989. Over the years, as sales plummeted, the brand collaborated with artists such as Vivienne Westwood and Manolo Blahnik to create the 100th anniversary editions, which finally gave Louis Vuitton momentum. Later on, the company collaborated with designers like Vivienne Westwood, Manolo Blahnik, and Isaac Mizrahi, who came up with new and bold ideas to create handbags using its monogram to celebrate its 100-year anniversary. Marc Jacobs acted as the design director and revolutionized the brand by introducing its ready-to-wear, high-quality designs in collaboration with high-profile, famous artists such as Stefan Sprouse and Takashi Murakami. Handbags were starting to be seen as a luxury at the time, and people really liked them. Since then, Louis Vuitton has expanded into watches, jewelry, and quality sunglasses and continues to launch iconic bags. Most of their products require 2 years of assembly and craftsman training to maintain their quality. The secret behind the success of Louis Vuitton. And now, the much-awaited recipe for success. From day one, quality has always been at the core of every single Louis Vuitton product. And a strategy pays off. Louis Vuitton doesn't do marketing. They just create products that are exceptional in their design and craftsmanship. Every bag made by Louis Vuitton is individually handmade with the utmost care. And even though the company now operates on a very large scale, they still know how to maintain that small company feeling. Louis Vuitton has always tried to counter mass production with short-term limited edition series. This means that not everyone will own the same bags, and means that those who do get their hands on a limited edition bag get fantastic exclusivity. When products come out in small numbers, a buzz is created instantly and people crave the latest style of bag. Because of this scarcity, waiting lists become longer and longer and the products even more desirable. That brings us to the end of our video about how a homeless boy revolutionized and pioneered modern luggage, laying the groundwork for a multi-billion-dollar empire. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon to never miss an update on more interesting stories.